So you hear the term AI thrown around all the time, right? It's so easy to just file it away as some sci-fi fantasy, something for the future. But here's the reality. It's not the future. It's right now. And this isn't just another app on your phone. It's the massive technological shift that's going to define our generation. It's changing, well, everything.
Let's put this in perspective. Every generation is shaped by one piece of defining technology. For millennials, it was the internet showing up in our homes. For Gen Z, it was the iPhone sticking that internet right in their pocket. But for Gen Alpha, today's kids, their technology is artificial intelligence. I mean, they're going to grow up in a world where talking to a computer is just as normal as talking to a person.
So why does this shift feel so much bigger, so much faster than the others? Because it's not a gentle wave coming in, it's a tsunami. And it's being driven by two things: unbelievable speed and just shocking accessibility. To really get a handle on this speed, let's talk about the iPhone. I mean, you could argue it's the most revolutionary product of the last 20 years. It took a full 18 months for the second version to even come out. By contrast, AI has changed more in the last 18 months than the iPhone has in its entire existence. The pace it's just not something we've seen before.
And here's the engine driving all that change. The power of AI is literally doubling about every 7 months. That's an exponential curve that our brains aren't really built to comprehend. What was pure science fiction for AI a year ago is just normal today. And what seems impossible right now will probably be a reality by this time next year.
If you need one stat to really make this hit home, this is it. A year ago, the best AI models had an IQ score of about 96, which is pretty average. Today, it's 136. That is well into the genius category. I want you to imagine a friend of yours going from average intelligence to a certified genius in a single year. That's what's happening with this technology. Of course, this level of change can feel pretty unsettling. But it's important to remember that we've been here before. When handwriting was invented, Socrates worried it would completely destroy our ability to remember things. Every single major technology has been met with fear. The lesson from history is that you can't stop these forces. So the only question that really matters is, how do we adapt? And that adaptation, well, it starts with a hard truth. The entire economic model that's dominated our careers for the last 50 years, what we call the knowledge economy, it's fading away. The very skills we were all taught to value are being turned into commodities. For decades, the path to success was pretty clear. You learn a set of rules, you memorize a bunch of information, and you apply it. That's what lawyers and accountants and even radiologists were paid for. But here's the thing. AI can now do those exact tasks: writing contracts, reading x-rays, filing complex taxes, and it can do them better, faster, and cheaper than most people. And this isn't some theoretical, far-off idea. Just look at the real-world impact. For years, learn to code was the golden ticket, right? The key to a secure career. But since the rise of generative AI that can write its own code, software development job postings in the US have absolutely plummeted. That's a classic how-to job being automated right before our eyes. So if the value is no longer in knowing how to do things, where does that leave us? Well, it forces us to build a completely new kind of skill. The future isn't about execution anymore. It's about vision. It's about knowing what problem actually needs to be solved in the first place. Let's use an analogy to make this super clear. Think about photography. It used to be that to be a great photographer, you needed a ton of technical skill. You had to know how to develop film in a dark room, master all the knobs and dials, f-stop, ISO, the whole thing. It was all about the how. But today, the best photographers are just the ones with the best vision. They know where to point the camera. The technical how has been totally automated, and AI takes this a giant leap further. Now, the gap between your imagination and reality is just a single sentence. If you can think it, you can create it. And that right there, that brings us to the very core of this new economy. Your value is no longer in the execution, but in the identification. It's about knowing where to point that camera, so to speak, which question to ask, and crucially, which problem is actually worth solving. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually start building this new skill? The key is to stop thinking about AI as this giant abstract concept and start making it personal. You have to get your hands dirty. Technologist Matt Britton has the best advice on this. Don't just learn AI for the sake of learning AI. Find a problem in your own life, something you're genuinely passionate about, and then use AI to solve it. That is how you make it stick.
Here's a really powerful example from his life. Britton wanted to stay healthy for his kids, so he gathered 25 years of his own medical records. He fed all of that into a private AI model, a personal health bot, and then he asked it a really profound question based on his unique data. The AI saw connections and patterns that no single doctor could ever hope to see.
This is the path forward for all of us. Theory is fine, but real understanding comes from doing. The absolute best way to learn AI is to stop reading about it and start building with it. Find a personal problem and go solve it.
So, as we wrap this up, what are the key takeaways? What's the mindset you need to cultivate to actually thrive in this new world? Well, it really comes down to 4 fundamental pillars.
These are the pillars for tomorrow. First, shift your focus from just doing tasks to actually solving problems. Second, practice perseverance because you're going to hit walls, but the amazing thing is the AI itself can help you break through them. Third, understand that your personal data is now one of your most valuable assets. And most importantly, be action-oriented. Don't wait. Start building something today.
So if you remember just one thing from this explainer, let it be this. The new how is knowing what. It's a complete inversion of everything we were taught. Your expertise is now defined by your ability to identify the right problem, ask the right question, and articulate the right vision. The AI will then help you with the rest. And that brings us to the end. The tools are here, they're accessible, and they're more powerful than anything we've ever seen before. The only thing that's missing is your vision and your curiosity. So I'll leave you with this question. What problem will you solve first?